What is up, Rad Potential YouTube? I'm Mr. Rad, and it is time for Deals Gap Rotary Rally. If you've never heard of this event, it's an event in the mountains of North Carolina at the tail of the dragon, where a whole bunch of Rotary enthusiasts, some of my great friends, we all gather up, talk about Rotary cars, drive curvy roads, and just enjoy the presence of Mazda RX-7s, Rotary trucks, you name it, anything with a Rotary engine, or if it even came with a Rotary engine, but like you put a V8 or a 2JZ in it, we welcome those guys too. Anybody who wants to come out and have a good time, welcome to come out to this event. It's put on by one of my friends, Phil Sohn, every year, and this is the 20th year that they've been doing it. It is currently 4 days before we have to leave, which is also, I think I have Easter coming up, and then I have a bunch of work to do on not only my cars, but other cars, you know, like Charles's Rotary truck and the white car and maybe the 4-rotor car. And let's just say it is always crunch time before Deals Gap for us because this is one of our favorite events of the year. So before we get to the video, I have a shameless merch plug for myself because we finally have some merch here for Rad Potential. We're starting out with 3 basic t-shirts, okay? And then other things are going to come. The Patreon members, you don't have to be a paid member of Patreon. You just have to be a member. You can be a member of it for free. Got access to this stuff about a week ago. We got black t-shirts, RX-8 on the back. These are super simple because I'm typically not a guy that likes a shirt that like sticks to your back while you're at a car show. So I like a little bit more simple designs. We're just starting with something easy. So RX-8 t-shirt. I've got a gray one with my logo on the front. I'll put a close-up picture of it as well. And then this has a Mazda Rotary truck tailgate on the back. Very simple design. Go check that out on the website as well. And then lastly, my favorite shirt, the RADX7 t-shirt. It's got the RADX7 on the back. Very simple, just like the RX-8 shirt. Real nice t-shirts. These are the same shirts that Cletus McFarlane uses, the same blank t-shirt before we obviously put the design on it. But, you know, just had to go with what the quality big-time guys are doing since we're just small-time Rad Potential here. So where can you find these? radpotentialracing.com. They'll be on there. Go check it out. Support the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I do not have a lot of these. Just so you know, by do not have a lot, I mean I really don't have a lot. So get you one of these. I've also got some stuff that I've 3D printed that I will be announcing to you guys after the Tail of the Dragon because I have to pick up my prototypes while we're at Deals Gap. So let's get to the video. All right, guys, so in this video, it's going to be all over the place. Trust me, the day, 2 days before Deals Gap, basically I have today, tomorrow's Easter, and then Monday to get loaded up. So I have about 20-something hours in the shop I can use to finish all the projects I need to get done. So the RADX7 needs a few upgrades, or at least I think it does, but it could 100% go exactly like it sits right now. I have no idea why I'm deciding to change things to this magnitude literally the week before we go. So the car makes a surprising amount of horsepower. I just scratched it. Look at that. I scratched it with my hood prop. Tick points off on the car show. Anyways, this car makes 348 horsepower at 14 pounds of boost. It weighs 2,000 pounds. It has no reason to be faster. However, speed is a matter of perspective, and I'm used to how fast it is, so I want it to be faster. The next best thing, E85. We're running on pump gas right now. We can put more boost through this thing on E85. I have 2 issues with just going straight to E85 right now. I have enough fuel system in this car, but I have a fuel slosh issue on the racetrack. If I'm below a half a tank, left corners and hard braking, no dece on the fuel. So we got to drop the tank, address the fuel slosh issue. The second thing is I can't just put this on straight E85. I drive the car around town too much. There's not an E85 gas station within 25 minutes of the shop. So it's not really feasible for me to have this on E85 all the time, considering it is a street legal race car and I do drive it on the street. So we're going to be putting a flex fuel sensor on this car as well. In addition to those 2 modifications to this, which I have to basically get done today very quickly, and then Easter tomorrow, and then load up on Monday, is we got to put different wastegate springs in Buzz because Buzz, the RX-8, needs to be making more horsepower. So after we get those 2 things done, we're going straight to Charles's house because the $400 rebuild Rotary engine, let's just say it has a couple issues and we got to fix them because the truck has to go to the Tail of the Dragon. I'll trailer it there and push it off the trailer. No matter what, it's going. So let's get right to it. So I got fuel all over my Hawaiian Tripper. We're digging in deep to this gas tank here. So check this out. I've got my little remote filler up pump, pumping the last bit of fuel out of the tank. And my Holley Hydromat, which you can kind of barely see down there, has fallen off the pump. So I'm curious if the depth that I set my pump at if we just look at this ichrometer spec, it's a solid inch off the bottom of the tank. So I should try to get that lower. Not quite like sitting on the bottom of the tank, but I should adjust this down. I think that would help us out a good bit when it comes to our fuel slosh. In addition, it would be impossible for me to show you, but if you can imagine me looking in that hole very intently and tipping the tank back and forth, the baffles that I have installed in here give me about 1.5 seconds of fuel after I turn it completely sideways. So I don't think I need like a huge improvement, but we're gonna definitely need some sort of an improvement in the baffles to some extent. I think I'm gonna cut the top of the tank off again. You can see I've modified mine, but I may cut it again right here and cut this section out where my holes are. We'll weld it right back in, but cut this out, get in there, weld in some more plates, build some sort of a spiral baffle, hold the fuel around the pump, and then we should be ready to rock. Assuming that that works, I'll have a good design then for the spiral baffle around the pump, and then a good location, you know, at the back of the tank for the in-tank pump to go, that I can then design with, take a brand new tank that's unmodified, because mine's already been, you know, hacked up, and we can design the kit that you guys could buy for putting an in-tank pump into your stock RX-7 tank with baffles so that you don't have issues. You know, in addition, I could probably make something that would allow for either like an FD RX-7 or a FC RX-7 or even some other car style full like 6-bolt big hanging pump assembly. You know, the big one that goes in there with the level sensor. Now, we wouldn't need the level sensor part of it, but we would love to have the 2 pumps, the built-in surge tank like what Radium sells. There's a bunch of different options for optimizing fuel flow for these newer cars that had in-tank pumps from the factory, right? So we could sell a kit to adapt your stock tank to that, which I think would be a huge win, because there's a lot of good stock tanks out there, albeit some of you guys have rusty cars, but to some extent, this would be a good solution for now. Oh, we're almost full. Good thing that has an auto shut-off. I was talking for a while. Nice. I'm going to measure the depth of the tank here. 8 3/8 of an inch. The depth of my pump is 7 1/4. Who put this together with an inch of space under the pump? No wonder I have fuel slosh issues. The pump's sitting an inch up, and no wonder my fuel range is terrible before I have fuel slosh issues. It's because I'm leaving 1.5 inches of fuel in the bottom of the tank and I can't even get it out. Because I literally pumped out with the electric pump there after I drained the tank with my pump, just pulled the return line. I literally pumped 2.5 gallons out of that thing. So we're only rolling around with a 9.5 gallon tank. All right, well, improvements. That's what we're here for. Let's water fill this so I don't explode and then cut the tank apart. All right, so I dumped about 5 gallons of water in here. Swished it all around. Obviously, it still smells a little fuely. I'm going to stay back away from this, fully covered. And we're going to try to just throw some sparks in here and see if it, you know, gases up. Sweet. So here, take a look down in here. I didn't explode cutting this apart. And y'all can see this baffle right here I had previously added. You can see the holes in it, little slits at the bottom. Generally, fuel, when I would hit the brakes, I would get slosh. And when I would turn left, which all the fuel would then go to the right, I would get slosh. We're close enough to this back corner of the tank that's not too big of an issue. Ignore my fun little rusty bits in there. But overall, I think I need like a box, a smaller box within this. I wonder if I can just make a piece that screws in to help hold that fuel back. It kind of really only needs to be like, it needs to go forward, over, back. I guess if I were to accelerate and make a right turn, the fuel would run out of it this way, and then if I hit the brakes, it would go forward. So we could get fuel out and around it. Maybe it needs to be like a shape like that. I don't know. Let's go to the whiteboard. We'll just consider this rectangle to be our fuel tank and my pump to be in this back corner. There's the factory baffle / support that runs like this through the tank, and then I added a piece that goes right here. The pump's in there. Left turns and braking, all my fuel sloshes forward this way, and all my fuel sloshes this way, and then I get no fuel pressure at low fuel levels. Not ideal. So what I think I want to do is around the pump, we'll call this the pump, I want to put a piece of metal in here that sits like this. The only hard part is, I guess now that I think about it, is that my Holley hydromat is big, and the Holley hydromat has to sit like that. However I build this box, it's also going to prevent fuel from getting back into it. So it's going to keep fuel in it, right? But it's not going to, it's going to take a while if I suck the box dry, you know what I mean? So maybe the box needs to be bigger. I don't know. We got the tank cut open now, so we might as well do some stuff. I think at a minimum, I may try to screw or put a plate just because there's a pretty decent gap. You know, this corner down here, where if I hit the brakes, it's all going out that corner. So I think I need to tidy that gap up. And then I think too, if I could just have, I bet I could just make a plate that screws in, and I don't need to build a whole baffle setup for my tank because I already modified it a bunch with this extra plate here and whatever. And I think there's a way better setup to do this, maybe without the Holley hydromat. I don't know. Just a regular old in-tank pump. But I need to fix this fuel slosh issue. You can see there's some baffling back there too. And the tank, if you look at all the little spot welds, there's a whole kind of maze of stuff in there. You know, its feed line was up here versus being at the back. So it was more designed to keep fuel from sloshing away under acceleration than mine is under braking. This nice little U-shaped tray. Got a couple holes in it. Got just my little 90-degree ratchet. I really don't want to weld in this tank because I'm not going to have time to like let all the fuel vapor gas off. So I'm going to be welding, you know, on it, but I can be far enough away that if it does gas up, I'm not like, you know, trying to weld down in here and my hand's not in the danger zone basically. So I've got some holes drilled in it. I'm going to drill some holes in the baffles I've already got in there, and I'll show you what this looks like once I get it down in here. And I'm just going to self-tapping screw it into place, maybe put a piece or two of safety wire around some things just to make sure it's not going to fall apart, and then we should be good to go. This, I put some little kind of edges down there. You see the little notches cut out, the little V-shaped weirs, getting all hydraulics on you. Hopefully, you know, that's the bottom. That should allow fuel to come back into it. Whenever I get up on the chip and floor it, the fuel should run to the back of the tank, and then that'll allow it to come up and around into the back. The driver's side of it, this side, does not go all the way rearward, so it should have a good enough area for fuel to come back around. But I think this, with dropping the pump, should help us out. So let's get this mounted. Now we have this C-shaped tray in here that's very, very well sealed to the bottom compared to what I had. So I think that should definitely help our fuel slosh a good bit. Now, am I happy enough with this for like a full production level design? No, but this is going to prove to me that this amount of orifices around it is going to allow the pump to retrieve fuel and to not lose fuel under normal, we're going to the tail of the dragon literally in 4 days, testing conditions so we can make sure this is going to work. And then I'll design a whole setup that goes into an unmodified tank, and we'll install it in my brown car, and then we can really test our fuel sloshability, you know, that whole deal, which will be super fun. So, all right, this is 100% a don't try this at home if you're not confident you're not going to explode moment. So I'm going to lay a tack on this. I'm going to stay pretty far back. I've got it magneted in place. Just the exact same piece I cut out. Obviously, it doesn't fit entirely perfect, but we'll make up the gaps with the weld. I did add like 4 more gallons of water, so we're about half a tank full of just water. I sloshed it around, mainly just trying to eliminate the vapors. So that's what's going to light on fire and shoot flames out of this. So I'm going to stand back. You guys should too. As in, back up from your TV, because flames are going to come out. Like those old cartoons where the guy punches somebody through the phone. Look out. No leaks, looks good. So we're setting up flex fuel on the Radix 7. I had a grinder mark hit my camera. Gosh, dang it, there's a blur on my camera lens. That's annoying. Okay. Now the blur kind of gone. Nice. So when I wired my fuel tech, I had one extra wire for inputs. I just left it tucked in right here. Now we're going to actually use this wire so that we can hook up a flex fuel sensor. So when I put the fuel tank back in, I had like just an extra filter, -6AN filter, so it's male to male on both sides laying around. I put that in place of where the flex fuel sensor is going to go, so the lines are plumbed for that. And then we need to pull the input wire to the back, and then the flex fuel sensor runs off of 12 volts positive and a ground. So I'm going to pull 12 volts from my fuel pump relay, so it'll be on the same circuit as the fuel pump because I already have 12 volts back here. And then we'll just have to run the input wire up to the fuel tank, calibrate the sensor, boom, I can turn my boost up, we can put E85 in this thing and let this thing rip. You're like ready to go, and then you decide, oh, I'm gonna do this one more thing, and then now you have like an hour worth of work because you messed something up. That's me. So I was adding a floor plate for my foot on the inside of the car where the frame rail plate goes, and you kind of know where this is going. I successfully drilled a hole and I nicked my brake line. So now I have to replace the brake line that goes to the back of the car. This is not fun. The only good thing is that I'm pretty sure I have one here, so I'll just go out there and get one. Albeit this one was super nice. Not even like, it's still green, like original. So I gotta pull this off, up at the top, up at the back. My lovely hole for my little tiny screws. I was like being super careful, and I got it pretty good, guys. I don't know if you can see it right there. But this is not good. So now I've got another, like I said, about an hour worth of work. So let's change a brake line because I wouldn't have it any other way the day before Deals Gap. And then yesterday, while I was working on my fuel tank, I successfully weld sparked my camera. And there is now a weld mark right here on the screen, right in front of my thumb. So you can see there's a blur now. Just terrible. This was a fresh lens too. All right, well, let's go find a brake line. Am I gonna get lucky that the car that's up in the air? Oh, nope, that brake line is cut. That's annoying. Okay, how about the silver car? Didn't get attacked by wasps. Hey yo, look at that. We got us a brake line right here. I need that line right there. So hopefully I can get that all the way off. I'm gonna bring the tractor over here and lift this up so I don't have to crawl in the dirt. A series of unfortunate events strikes again. This car has been modified for a hydraulic handbrake, so it's not a factory line, so I don't want it. Ultra sad. All right, so I've opted to just make a new brake line. I have some 3/16 steel line here. It's kind of a pain to bend, but I'm gonna go ahead and just pull a whole new line. I can reuse the correct coarse thread because this is a 79 still. The coarse thread fittings on these, and I have a flare tool so I can flare this out. So I'm gonna be frustrated and put a brake line on, and you guys are gonna see the finished product here in about 2 seconds. Or if something funny happens while I'm doing it, I'll include the clip of me being frustrated. I can flare that end, mount it, cut it, flare the other end, done. So I got the new line on, it's all not overheating anymore, and this is right after wherever I just finished fixing the brake line on the Radix 7, and we're changing the wastegate spring because Buzz needs to make more power, and we're still plenty rich, so instead of dialing in the VE table for lower boost, we're just gonna keep it where it was at for the higher boost, and I'm gonna turn the boost up to match it. Sound like a good plan? If we recall correctly from our wastegate spring adventure with the red car, Buzz had a red wastegate spring in it now. It's very, this is one hand. Not that strong. Okay, so I'm going to find something that's about the same as this. We're going to add that to it. Hopefully that just gives us a few PSI more. Not trying to stack 3 springs in this thing, and ideally I can still push this on under the car because I didn't take the whole wastegate off, but it is in a super serviceable location, which you guys will see here in a second. There's the wastegate on buzz, just screaming right down, and we're gonna put this on here. I have to like toe hook the tire so I don't push myself away on the floor. So future Mr. Rat is interrupting because whilst at Deals Gap, which is why this video has come out after Deals Gap, my laptop gave me the zebra stripes scream of death. It literally just decided to shut off. And as an engineer, I cannot work on something that has the potential of losing my work and having to rework it. So I didn't risk finishing the video. So this is the clips I lost, which are loading up the cars. And now we're at Charles's house. Just imagine you saw me load cars on the trailer. Buzz is running perfect. Everything's good. Movie magic. Right back to Charles's house. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Ready to get this thing put back together?
Yes.
Did you fire it and try to see if it was leaking or no?
No, I hadn't even put the flywheel back on it. I really think, though, it's under boost.
Yeah, it's just pushing out the vent.
Yeah.
We got oil all over everything in here, Charles.
Yep. It's everywhere.
It's going to need a good detail.
Look at the flywheel on the back.
Oh, it's just covered in oil.
But there was no oil on the actual seal.
Yeah.
Or when I pulled it out, there was no oil around the O-ring or the
Really?
iron.
Up in there?
Yeah.
So then it's got to just be
pushing past the seal.
Yeah.
Hitting that and spraying.
I'm curious if, so we had put this Turbo 2, well, you can't even see it. It's like hidden in there.
Yeah.
The Turbo 2 neck on it, and it's just got this little nipple.
And that's all it's got.
So I've got a cap. It's actually a rotor cap that's drilled and tapped with a -10 fitting. And then we should be able to, we could probably put it, I brought that big catch can. Probably make a bracket off of this maybe and put it here. It's really tall.
Right here.
Yeah, it's just, it's like,
Tall.
it's probably from here to here.
Oh, wow.
So we can put that somewhere in here, and it's got a filter on top of it. And it has a bracket that slides up and down, and it has a drain on the bottom. And then I brought some AN fittings and some -10, so we should be able to make it work. Yeah, the only thing that'll be tricky is if, like, when we tighten this down, if the AN fittings pointing because it's not a swivel, you know,
Okay.
it's just a NPT,
Yeah.
so it could be pointing way over there.
Well, we may have to take it off and put some tape on it and tighten it again so that
it won't need to be that tight. You know, we could probably put some silicone on it, just point it where we want.
Yeah.
Because on my car, it had the my center iron. It's got just the straight, you know, straight one.
Down.
So I just tightened it up and then put the fitting where I needed it for where mine was pointed, you know,
Right.
versus this one. Cool. So, but I think that ought to do her.
Yep.
And then we can probably ought to go ahead too while we're working on this and set the injector cleaner up and get the injectors soaking in the ultrasonic part of it.
Okay.
So that they sit there and tick and clean out. Okay. And then we'll flow them after that. Because out of, you know,
I'll have to go get some.
it'll take 10 minutes or so. That's fine. So.
All right. Cool.
Cool. We'll get at it.
Hey,
Deals Gap pre-day
one.
1. Or I guess, when do we leave tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning.
We leave in about 25 hours.
Yeah, about 25, 26 hours.
Nothing but the good stuff.
The car's not running. Oh,
Yeah.
check this out. Nope.
What you got? No, you're good.
Look at the rockers on Sheila.
Was the paint coming off, or is it? Oh, did you paint them black?
Yeah, with bed liner.
Nice. Okay.
The other side looks, I mean, you know, it had all the red showing.
Yeah.
We wire wheeled it, wiped it down,
Nice.
baked it, sprayed it. It just kind of makes it look a little
Yeah.
better. Check this
Yeah,
out.
yeah. So y'all been doing some stuff, some
Steering
things
wheel.
and stuff.
Check the steering wheel out.
Does it move back and forth anymore? Oh, nice. And it turns without smashing up all the combination switch.
Yep.
Oh, and the steering wheel lock works now. That's nice. So you just had to like press those two.
I didn't even take it out. I took a punch, took the steering wheel off, and drove that shaft back into the other shaft. 'Cause
Okay.
It's a slip joint.
Yeah,
It's a slip
collapsible,
joint.
right?
Yeah, collapsible. And it's tight enough that it doesn't just slide. So I drove it back in and then put the steering wheel on there and pulled it back out to the length it needed to be.
Okay.
So if you get in the car and you yank on it,
It's going to come out.
It's going to come out.
Yeah.
But to get in the car and just drive the car and not yank on the
Yeah.
steering wheel, it's going to be
Probably over time it'll probably loosen up
It'll
again.
probably
Because I bet
loosen
it was probably tight originally when y'all put the car together. but
it's a whole lot better now.
yeah, for sure.
We fixed that. We painted that. Changed the oil. Could never get it to run right. We changed the plugs again. We checked the spark on all 4 coil wires. Everything's there.
I mean, did it have fresh gas in it, or just still the old gas?
We drained the gas, but it looked good.
Okay.
I probably have put gas in it from time to time.
Sure.
But then I put 5 gallons of fresh gas in it, and it still, at one point, it ran good, and then it won't even start now.
Okay. You know the one thing I forgot?
The little thing.
That.
We'll take it off the black car.
Okay. I got everything else. I went through my checklist, and I had forgot that. Now that I'm standing next to the white car, I'm like, I forgot the fuel clicker thing.
We've got one on the black car out back.
This is what it is. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, hey.
You missed it, though. They've already seen it. I drilled a hole through my brake line on the Radix 7 whenever I put the floor plate on to cover up the frame rail hole.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm right here. I should go right between the fuel line and the thing. And I was using the tiniest drill bit. I mean, the tiniest one. But those are usually the sharpest ones too, you know?
Yes.
And I drilled down and I just barely, like, I wasn't trying to go all the way. I knew I was, had stuff there, but I was like, the car was on the ground. I didn't really feel like moving all the way. Nicked the brake line. All my brake fluid leaked out. So you know what I did? I remade a whole new brake line from front to back because I was like, I ain't splicing this because with how hard I'm going to be using these brakes, I need it to work right. And I know whatever I did would have stayed on there for a while because it's just like I wouldn't have taken it back apart if it was still working. So now it's fixed right. So it's got a new brake line on it.
Check the brakes on this.
Did you bleed them?
Yep.
And they feel good now?
Pressure bled them.
Nice. I feel like we've bled these brakes so many times though. Nice. I mean, that's how my pedal feels. Because this is still a 79 master cylinder, right?
Yeah,
or is it just
no, it's
OSC?
82.
Okay.
Or 80. It's an 80 something master cylinder.
Okay, it looks basically the same as mine. Only my proportioning valve's like this.
See, this whole brake setup was off of a parts car we had.
Okay.
Except for the front brakes, which are 4-piston calipers, T2. But that all the brake lines and everything were off of Seth's old car.
Okay.
So, and he was having brake problems with it.
Okay.
He never could get the master cylinder blade right.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah, this one, does it have the bleeder on the master cylinder? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, so on my car, the trick is to make the rear brakes work. If you, like, what I just did was bleed all the, on accident, drain all of the brake fluid out of my rear master cylinder.
Onto the floor.
Yeah, completely gone. I backed the car out, hit the pedal, it went straight to the floor, and I was like, oh no, what happened now? And then I look up there, and I have a big puddle right under where the seat was. Anyways, there's a bleeder on the side of the master cylinder. Okay. So, like, I pressure bled and pushed all the air out to the back, and my pedal was still a little spongy. And then I cracked that bleeder with, I usually put like a pipe between the seat and the pedal to get pressure. And then while the pressure bleeder's still on it, and I cracked that, and a bunch of air came out. So, I don't know, like, these, if you ever like bench bled it, because you're not going to be able to get the air out of the master cylinder all the way to the back. So that's probably what it was. Yeah. But that side little bleeder, like, I mean, I cracked that thing. It was like, it should have a bunch of air out of it. So.
A lot of air can get in there and get trapped between those two pistons.
Yeah.
And you can't get it out.
Makes it spongy.
That bleeder wouldn't come out, and I didn't want to break it off.
You just bled it to the line?
I didn't even bleed that one.
Okay.
I bled that one and these two. I didn't bleed that
That's probably good enough.
I didn't want to. I tried to tighten it, loosen it, tighten it, loosen it, and it still didn't want to crack. I'm not breaking it off.
Yeah. On my silver car, it had a stuck bleeder on one of the rear calipers, so I would just crack the line, the brake line, and bleed it at the brake line and then tighten it. And that gets you close. Yeah, it's good enough. For a rear brake on an RX-7, you're not moving that much fluid anyways.
No, they don't do much work.
Yeah.
And those are SE calipers, so they're non-existent.
Yeah, basically. Cool. All right, so y'all didn't see me pack the yellow car up, but injector cleaner, gas cans, and then the good old, but wait, there's more. So instead of packing all my tools like I normally do, I just grabbed the rally car toolkit, which is Harbor Freight special, but if it's not in there, you probably don't need it.
Probably not. Cool.
There's a Bluetooth speaker, new radio, the pipe bender, extra fluids. And then for some reason, the power door lock on the passenger door doesn't work. Like, it manually locks and unlocks. Yeah. But if I hit the power button, it only unlocks the driver door.
I wonder if it's a switch.
Or it could be like the actuator in there, maybe? I don't know. RX-8 people, comment below. We gotta fix my power door locks on my turbo RX-8. That definitely is worth somebody breaking into and stealing something out of. because it just screams luxury, especially from the passenger side with all the nice paint on it, because this is the good side. So where's that other housing at? Should be in here behind the seat, maybe. Oh, it's on the other side. Okay. And we need the gas cans. And then, because I don't like pouring, I brought my pump. Yeah, a couple extra bits over there, and that other housing's down there. Just so long as we get the housings resurfaced before I'm back in Indiana from Deals Gap. Bosch 1600s, old school. And then these are the IDs.
Looks pretty good.
Oh, see, those have the adapters for Turbo 2 size.
Yep.
So, because we're stock rails, so we'll be able to put all 4 of these injectors in there at the same time.
Yep.
Sweet. First time these injectors been out of this thing in 13 years.
Yep.
It's not running right, but we got the spark. I think we got a clogged injector. So we're gonna run them through the cleaner, get these things dialed in. And look at these O-rings.
Oops. This one came out of the bottom. We don't need this one, do we?
That O-ring can go back in the block, yeah. Look at that.
Yep,
They're just crunchy,
yeah.
and then this side,
See,
they're all tore.
the way these are made, these had to be modified because it has the plastic. You'll see them over there.
Yeah.
Plastic comes all the way to the top. Well, that
Yep.
won't work in these because it needs to be the 12 mil. So we had to take the plastic off. You cut it off with a Dremel, and then you put enough O-rings that it seals.
Yep. I mean, it worked for 13 years, so
yeah,
good for another 13 more. We might have a leak. Oh no, it's not leaking. So let me stop it, close this, restart it, and now we'll be able to see which one. You'll be able to see, like, that's a 1600 versus the ID 1000. See how much extra flow comes out of those versus the middle ones?
Yep.
I'm just stoked it's not leaking at the top, because that's kind of, you know, it's custom. So we got 2020,
almost 80 and
74, yeah. Secondary is the balance isn't that important, you know, but they're definitely all working. The other thing is, though, is that they could have been stuck, and this thing pulsing them fast is gonna open them up, because that's how Chuckles, the LS injectors were. It's like they wouldn't work in the car. We put them in the tester, and we only had one that was stuck, but then it freed up within the first half a second, you know? Yep. Just because you think when you're idling your car that your injectors are working very hard, but they're really not working that hard, you know? They're just barely pulsing. Yep. So let's go ahead, and I think we have them out. Let's put them in the ultrasonic and soak them. Yep. And then we'll put them back in there. Yep. And before we put them in there, we can turn the power on and make sure we have power to the injectors.
Which we checked the other day, right?
You have 12 volts to the injectors in Sheba?
No, we didn't check injector. We checked coils.
Okay.
That's right. Okay.
So we can check the injector. Should just be key power, 12 volts on one side of them.
Just have to turn the fuel off.
Yeah, the pump. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll have the injector. We'll know these are good, so we can put the rails back together. But just before we plug them in.
Plug them in.
While we have the intake manifold off, we might as well check it.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something here.
And like I said, I only got these 90s, so if we can get it to point like that.
Yeah.
But we can unscrew this a little bit, and like I said, just RTV it back on. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
Yeah, just as long as it's sealed.
Yeah. And we'll 90 over, and then this one can just 90 down, because that kind of comes off the.
Yeah, it comes off that side.
Yeah. So it'll be a funky looking U shape, but I think that ought to do it.
Well, but will it pool? If it forces it out, will it pool in there?
Oh, I mean, it should push the oil through this line.
Yeah, if it's pushing, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
The pressure should push the oil into the tank. So this can kind of just go like that. We'll have a little short line.
Okay. Let's go.
Go from there to there. I mean, we could try to go straighter if you would rather have it go down, but it's just going to be like you know. Basically, I think we mount the catch can to where we know where that's going to be then, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll clock this wherever we want it to make the line the shape that you want. Yeah, I mean, that feels all good and smooth. And everything in the back of the motor looks fine. Take 2 putting the transmission back in, hoping for no leaks. But it's like there's nowhere back here for this to leak aside from the rear main. So it has to be a blow-by issue. We got to get the air out of the crankcase. You know, our $400 rebuild has its drawbacks.
Alright, slave's out of the way. Starter wire should be out of the way. Yeah, we're put the transmission.
Cool.
Yeah, because I'm going to make a new cross member.
Makes it more serviceable.
So we don't have that terrible one.
Is like
A pain.
pain.
It sucks. So that's why there's my bender and my pipe and some pieces I cut off the plasma table. We're going to whip up a new cross member today. Should be easy enough. Okay, go back. Okay,
Fun part.
keep going. Okay.
Oh, wet spot.
Ooh, yeah.
Dirt right in my face. Alright, go ahead up. Was that what you got?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me come around on that side, and we'll see if we lift it in there. Yep.
My hand down first. I'll go up. Alright, ready? Right there. Okay, and we're in.
We're in. All right.
Yep. It
Hey,
should
Mel?
sit right there.
Yep. Yep.
Bell housing bolts.
In the back of the truck is that tray of bolts. I need
Yep.
it, please.
Okay.
Put here, hold that up to wherever that mount will fit in. We'll put this mount on. I'll bolt my plate on there, and then I'll get to figuring out a bar that'll go through here with those tabs on it. It shouldn't be too crazy, I don't think so.
I'll show you what we did to get it out.
So here's the new transmission cross member. Fits in there. Very nice, just like that. It's kind of hard for me to hold it in the exact location and hold the camera, but look at that. Plenty of exhaust clearance. Nice and tidy on the transmission there. Super easy to get out. Clean. So we can't turn it. It should turn.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought.
We can crunch the apex seals in on this. Now it should turn.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to turn it with that.
I mean, I tightened it, so it's probably super tight, but
Yeah, well,
that means I can loosen
I
it.
think it's. Here, you want me to hold the camera? Because
Sure. Pointing at something cool.
90 degrees.
I mean, I just moved it a bunch.
Yeah, but you'd move at 90.
We'll get there.
That's probably good.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Now we just got to Sharpie in all the scrapes on it. It'll be fun. You know,
Yeah. Good as snap.
And they're scars, and you know,
Yeah.
chicks dig scars.
for sure. It's got stories to tell.
Say.
Oh, that ain't gonna work. I need to turn it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go do it. It's easy enough. If I smash down another corner.
Yeah. I
Make
mean,
it-
if
we'll
you
make it
ruined one
uniformly
apex seal, you
smashed.
probably ruined them all. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you drop a full-size rotor on the ground, it's pretty much junk.
Yeah, yeah. Ordered some one time. Told the guy, be sure and pack them really good. When I heard the clank
When you got it.
on the front porch when FedEx or UPS dropped them off, like those
That's
are
not a
ruined.
good sign.
Those
Yep.
are ruined. Yeah. They
I had,
were.
I had to ship Ernie a rotor, a GSLSE rotor. Sold him one. Now what the heck is up with that?
It didn't go straight or something.
Or can you start it in multiple locations?
I don't think so.
How about that? Because that's the only inconvenient part about breathing through your oil fill cap is you got to undo that dash 10 line when you take your oil cap off. I think that ought to do. Yeah. Okay. I did come up with an idea for the catch can
Okay.
while we were scheming, or you were working on the trans mount.
Okay.
So why don't we just use this bracket just like it is,
Mhm.
and let's just put a 90-degree piece of angle iron right there and mount that to it, just like that. So we'll use your upper
Like
radiator
that?
mount. No, just like it is right there.
But I mean, turn this down or?
No, just put a 90 behind your bolt right there.
Oh.
So then this has something flat to sit on.
And then zip it in with
Yeah.
the self-tapper.
Yeah, and then we'll put a, well, we could drill an actual hole in it so it looks clean. But then on the support here, this diagonal piece
Yeah.
of your truck, if we take a hose and just lay a hose on that so the bottom doesn't rattle against it. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Or tube.
Tubes.
Yeah, something. Tubes. I haven't said that in a lot of videos lately, so I need to put it in there.
It's great to have leftovers.
All right, transmission in.
Don't need that.
Cross member looks sick. Plenty of clearance on the exhaust.
That's my job.
It just goes right in. Easiest thing ever. Drive shaft, carrier bearing because it's still a 2-piece drive shaft. Dialed. So now we just, ideally it doesn't leak oil out the back of it when we're ripping on it now. Yeah, the lower seals are in there good. And the upper ones for the bottoms. Just need to get in here and pressure wash all this off, but under the intake, everything else looks decent-ish. Under there is dirty. It's a good old car though. And nobody Jeff's here with this sweet rotary truck. By far the fastest vehicle here is that.
Rail that doesn't have, this is
That's an S5 rail.
that's an S5 rail that's not raised on one end. Yeah, because it's a metal rail. This one doesn't even have the good rails on it.
That's a good secondary rail.
Yeah, it's good secondary, but not good primary.
Now before we put all this back together, we need to turn the key on and make sure that they have no fuel leaks.
All right, let me get the key and get the zip fit.
And bring your multimeter. I mean, it didn't do that before, right? Awfully rich.
That worked.
Yep.
That's the first time it's actually idled on its own even a little bit. It's just so low.
Let's get a vice grip. Probably at 700, 600.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it. It's hanging on.
Yeah.
Oh.
She wants to drive it. She drives the trailer. The FD, and it's like,
Fire it off again.
half the fun is driving. I'm driving there. I got another throttle body we can put on it that
Fire it. I mean, does it have a fuel filter? Can we change a fuel filter?
yeah, it's got an FC fuel filter. It's right there.
Mm-hmm. Fire it up, Mel. Gotta be running out of fuel pressure. Like if I rev the shit out of it, it just falls on its face.
Can somebody identify that? I have no idea what it's off of.
Oh, there's probably 2 gallons of gas in that fuel filter, Charles.
What the heck? Ew.
See, that's what the gas looked like.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked decent.
Yeah. When I drained.
There's a lot coming out of this side, but not a lot came out of that side.
Yeah. That's the outside, isn't it?
No, this is the outside.
Oh, really?
Right? Wasn't it? No, this was the bottom because I had that. This is the top.
This one goes in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna dispose of most of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to take that T-bolt intercooler clamp off of there and whatever is holding it on out of here too. I need a 8mm 5/16. There's 2 zip screws down here, right in the floor. We'll just take those out. This is custom right here. Can't buy this at a store.
You've seen the outbuilding bookcase, right? 1 by 2 by.
Which side do you want it on? You want it on the output or the? Oh, you're over here. you want it on the output or the input?
The end, because this is the feed line.
Which one's the end? Does it have arrow in it?
It says it on one of the sides, I think, right?
I don't know.
In the big
Somewhere
side.
around there? That was
Yeah,
about right.
yeah. Then I'll just put it up, kind of under where all the hard lines come through. We can zip tie it, and it won't be down by the frame rail.
Is it under there?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna take that off, and it's gonna make fuel go everywhere. Or just, yeah, there you go. Use another one.
I'll go get you another. You need one more?
No, that'll be fine.
Because these are going to be facing up one way. You know what I mean?
I think that sounds like a future person problem. Just tighten them down on there and let it ride.
You know, future person might be you.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not
future-
too worried about it.
Future Eric.
Yeah. When you take it apart to restore it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll drain the fuel out before I do that.
I mean, right now you're going to be able to tighten this.
The bottom one I'll be able to tighten, that's what matters. I think you'll be able to reach it about no matter where they are. But on an RX-8 though, Nordic green, best color.
Oh yeah, it's a great color on an 8.
It's so funny. I've got Matt, who has the Shinka, right? Black cherry, which is arguably a really good color as well.
Yeah, it's
He's saying that his is the second best color every time we talk colors on RX-8s because I've been like, Nordic green's the best, period. It's just my opinion. You can fight me, but I like it. Okay. Did it fix it? I'm assuming it didn't spray out everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Alright, I'm gonna try to start it. Hit your head
Hit your head.
twice.
No, the first time I
Runs
smashed
in the family,
my
I guess,
thumb on
running your
this.
head into things.
The second time I hit my head.
Catch can complete. So hopefully it clears the hood. I think we'll be just fine. Because I forgot it, my safety wire here. I was looking for my safety wire, Charles, and I couldn't find it. Try that belt slipping a little bit.
Jacob tuned it. You don't want to run now.
I mean, he tuned it for approximately 30 minutes and then it spewed all of its oil out. So
He drove it
it's perfectly tuned.
5 miles. And it came back angry.
Did you hit the key too? Yeah. Hey, this is your truck.
And he tuned it when it was warm. He didn't tune it for a cold start.
It needs some coolant temp correction pulled out of it. Charles, you're spraying oil all over my car. It's all right.
it's gonna expand, right?
Yeah. We're still having fuel pressure issues with this deal. After a filter change, we've now added a pressure regulator, aftermarket deal. And we think we got it sorted. You having fun? I'll put that in the video.
That is going to be a problem right there, Rick.
What?
That
We got it.
underneath that, we're going to have to get the Frank above the beans or below the beans or something.
Well, can't we just rotate this down there, sir?
Yeah.
Put that just like this. Yeah, just like that. All right.
Okay.
Now tighten that down. Okay, and then let's get a zip tie, and we'll zip tie this back to the hood latch somehow. Maybe. I mean, it might just stay there, Charles. We'll put one big zip tie around all this right here, and I think we're good. Just
What do you want to do?
zip tie that to something.
Went away.
Yeah, I mean, it fully went away. I wonder if it's that belt. Slip it on your water pump. I mean, serpentine belts can be a little more picky, less grippy than a... You're clear right, clear right, clear right. It pulls good.
Now we're spitting oil. That's what I want to
Is it still? That's a nice little turnaround.
Yep. Figured it'd be a good place for us to check.
Yeah. Oh,
Still spraying oil, ain't it? Or is it just burning oil?
I mean, yeah, there's oil everywhere still. Do you see it coming out the starter hole?
Yep.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
What else could that freaking be?
I don't know.
Huh. We're generally confused. We pretty much know everything about these engines, but we don't know why this is doing this.
Never had one do this.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of blow by, I'll give it that, but like, why wouldn't it push all that oil out the easiest place to go, which would be the catch can versus pushing it out the rear main seal? I mean, like, unless that RX-8 eccentric shaft is what's messing it up. But mine's got an RX-8 eccentric shaft in it, so why would that be weird? But it's definitely... I mean, I can see it down there, pooled in the...
Yeah, it's ripping out underneath.
Let's take it back and let's put your bore scope in there and see what we can see. We got a fire extinguisher handy, don't worry. All good.
Alright, you watch that and see what it does when I get into this. That just doesn't make any sense. Oil pressure drops.
20 psi. pressure could drop on the gauge when it pushes oil out the back of the...
When it says it opens that up,
But it shouldn't though, because the pressure's built between the bearing and the E-shaft, not between the seal and the E-shaft. The seal's not doing anything but holding back literally crankcase pressure. Huh. I don't know. It rips though. The tune's good enough, I think. We just gotta figure this out. So on the chip, as soon as we light into it, you can let go of that, it'll stay up. As soon as we light into it, the oil pressure immediately drops from 60 psi to 40, like a switch. It just goes straight down to 40. It has a racing bead aftermarket fancy adjustable regulator in it, so I wonder if that's failing and letting too much oil pass, or if it's making too much pressure and that's too much oil pressure is pushing the pushing oil out the back of it versus boost. You know what I mean?
I think it's boost.
You still think it's crankcase pressure?
I don't know how.
But how did it? I mean, the back of the. I mean, there's not any extra holes in an FD automatic rear iron that's going to make it not, or less holes, right? That should make it not breathe as well to the crankcase from the stationary gear. The rear stationary gear's got that big passageway that goes down the back of the iron, right? Where the oil can drain back out of the gear. It's like it's a rectangle. It sits at 60, but then as soon as we take RPM higher, it never goes above 60 and it drops to 40 oil pressure. So that's why I'm thinking pressure regulator, because you could be making so much pressure that it peaks your sensor out, right? It's a 150 psi sensor.
Yeah, but you would think it.
But it should just go to max and quit. It wouldn't drop down. Yeah.
I've never seen that problem.
See, that's a weird situation, right?
I've never had an adjustable regulator.
Yeah. Well, I set the adjustable regulator on, there's a thing you put in an air chuck and hit it with air to see the spring pressure as you adjust it.
Yeah.
And it's set to 80 psi max. So it should only go to 80 when you're on the chip and then go down, is how that should work. What do you think? Can we pull the pan off, Charles?
Can we pull the pan off without pulling the motor?
We'll probably have to lift the motor up, because this is a front sump, right? Because of the rear steer, everything goes down to the front.
I don't know if we can pull it.
Well, it's super hot right now, so we're going to mull over what we're going to do, and you'll be the first to know. So we've got the oil pan off. This is our update. We decided exactly what to do. Y'all were not the first to know, but we're taking this out. This is the adjustable racing bead oil pressure regulator. Had it set to 80 psi, and for some reason we're having that big pressure drop, right? So we're gonna change this out for a stock one. Oh yeah, there we go. Fortunately, on the rotary truck, take the engine mounts loose, jack the engine up just slightly, and the pan comes right out the front. We don't even have to take the pickup tube off. So we'll just have to clean all this up and get a different regulator put in here. I mean, what do you... Oh, now it's done. I mean, I don't know that there'd be any way to... And I mean, I've got the air pressure thing at home, so we can't like check it, but... Let's run that through the parts washer, make sure it's good and clean or something, and then we'll put it in there.
I'm not even going to crush it down.
I mean, I think we just run it. Honestly, lower oil pressure would probably be better and less chance of blowing that seal out.
Yeah.
So here's another racing bead adjustable one. But where'd you put that other one, Charles? It's right here. I mean, functionally, this one on the right has a different, end cap bolt, but that's just where the shims and stuff, how they're adjustable. And then you only use the lock washer to you thread it in there and use this to hold it. So I don't know. I think we just go back for a stock one. If we're good, which is this. And the trick is you can see the spring in there, just barely. You crush the right edge of this down, and then that gives you more oil pressure because you've put more pressure on the spring sooner. because I don't know, it's a progressive rate spring, but by shortening the spring, you're increasing the spring pressure. So it works pretty well for like a budget oil pressure upgrade, but honestly, you don't even really need it. And a stock FD style pressure will be just fine for most every application, unless you're 12,000 RPM beast mode race motor, and then at that point you're probably dry sump anyways. So we get this guy up in here, and then we got to clean all this off again, Charles, so that we can.
Yep.
I mean, we'll know if it's blowing more oil though.
Yeah.
And I just hope, like, to me, the crankcase, the oil pressure out the rear main seal is one issue. Could be related to this issue, yes. But the fact that the oil pressure is dropping 20 psi with RPM is a whole different issue in and of itself, in my opinion. So it's like, let's target the oil pressure issue because we know what we can do, and then maybe that fixes the other one, is our thought. So we're going to clean this and put it back together. All right, Charles, so I just took this thing for a test ride, and here's what I did. I drove to our turnaround where we turned around the last time, okay? No boost, but I got it up to 5,000 RPM. Oil pressure, mint. Stays right above 60, doesn't drop, no big deal, everything was good. When I pulled over, it was leaking already, without boost, okay? So, I checked, it was just as messy as this. On the way back, you probably heard my pull, because I did it right over there, hoping you would hear it. And that was a second gear rip, oil pressure good to like 5,800 RPM. So the oil pressure issue is dialed. It's not falling on oil pressure anymore. Okay, it's staying above 60, 70, 80 the whole time. But I still don't know why. To me, this leak is pressurized oil spraying out of something, not crankcase pressure. Because I literally drove it. I didn't have the camera on, but I did not hit boost at all on the way there. Zero boost. So, is the E shaft cracked? I don't know. I mean, we tried 2 stationary gears, that didn't fix it. The only thing that's different is the E shaft. So like that has to be what it is, because you know, unless like the front or the rear iron has a crack in it somewhere where it's spraying oil out the back, you know, like looking at, oh, you put that other rear iron away, but like looking at a rear iron, you know, you have all those casting marks in the back. It could be cracked on one of those, I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, it's something.
It's leaking boost or no boost. So.
Yeah, it's not boost related. It's not a crankcase pressure issue. This is something else. What's the plan then? What's backup plan? Just ride along?
I'll ride along.
I mean, I guess. Okay, let's think analytically here. All right, the flywheel spins this way. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's slinging all the oil out that side. There's not much over here at all. Okay. All right. I have a thought. What does that hole right there go to? Is that just a threaded hole? That one? See it right above the
Yeah. Is it
that
threaded?
upper hole? How would that side doesn't have any oil into it, does it?
That is a threaded hole.
Could that be part of in that drain back?
I don't know.
Do we need to block that off? I don't know that I have a picture of Richard's engine if it has that hole or not. If it was that hole the whole time, I'm gonna be so mad. But let's put a bolt in that.
How far does it go?
Oh, that's from way in there, dog. That's gotta be it.
Are you kidding
That's
me?
gotta be it right there. That hole. It has to be. What? Because we're getting oil on this side. It's slinging it up this way.
God.
It ain't coming out the other side.
Serious.
That has to be it. All right, see that hole right there, camera people, the viewers? That hole right there in the side of the block where I have this wire going in is going in real far. That has to be it, Charles. There's no way it's not. We got oil all around that hole right there. We've taken this transmission out 3 times, pulled the oil pan off. We've battled so many things because there's a freaking hole on the side of the motor without a plug in it. But we've never really done this. I gotta go look at Richard's car. It ain't spewing oil out of it. Does his have that hole or not? That's the next question. I'm gonna be so happy that this is the problem, but I'm gonna be so mad that it's the problem at the same time. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's It's right there. I'll zoom in on the screen and show you. Follow the wire down. That has to be, because that's going into where... Oh, never mind. Look, Charles, it's through the... It's into the back.
Okay.
See where I went into the...
Yeah.
Dang it. Okay, I was hyped up for no reason. So then that's why Richard's car doesn't leak. Damn it. Okay, well, shit, that sucks. Sorry, guys, I was so excited for a second. Because that went in real far, and I didn't think there was that on the backside. But I guess if that does just go through, then that makes sense. But then why would we only have oil coming out the one side, not the other side? I don't know. Okay, back to plan Z. We're going to go ahead and start this with the bore scope down here. Man, there's so much oil. All right, shut it off, Charles. I have a theory. Okay. My thought is, on an FD, does where the oil pan overlap with the engine mount holes or anything, do those threads come through behind the iron? Do they come through into the transmission tunnel at all? Could oil pan oil, like, because it looks like the level's just going up, right?
Yeah.
It keeps going up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
Okay, and it leaked a bunch out, right? And we were super low on oil too.
Yeah.
Okay, so could the oil pan level, because it's high, somehow just be working its way into the bell housing? Like, could it be leaking through the iron somewhere to get into the thing? Like if one of those studs, because like if you look down in here, you can see.
Yeah, you can see it pooling down.
You can. Oh, I mean, there's a full-on lake in there now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you could see it, like, I don't know, you can kind of see, like, right, I got my eyes on it, but if you look down in there and then look towards the base of the iron, you'll see that there's some oil pan bolt studs, right?
Yeah.
Or holes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in that alignment down there where it could be leaking up from, you know what I mean, from in between the inside of the pan?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think.
Because an FD pan is flat. The back inch of it is perfectly flat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like completely flat. So it's sealed. It's like sealed all the way to the front of the rear iron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's a way for it to leak. I don't know. I need a picture of an FD iron without the oil pan on it to look at it.
Phoning a friend. That was Jerome. They call you. You were with them.
You know what I mean? Like if you run a truck pan on a FD engine, because that pan, the truck pan's only this wide at the back, right? I mean, we know how to get the pan off real easy. It's already loose. The silicone's probably not dry.
So it's cracked.
All right, Eric.
How'd that happen? When?
We got the engine out the night before we need to leave.
What? 10 o'clock.
It's
Is it really?
it's literally 12
It's
hours
11:15
till we're
for me
leaving.
because I'm on a time warp.
12 hours till we're leaving for Dale's Gap. And
So, oily mess, and it's cracked or broke or something. So
got
we're going
to
to
be.
take the rear iron off. We have to give Calvin and Matt, i.e. Chuckles, and his dad, a big thanks for picking up a rear iron for us from
On
our
the
friend
way.
on the way here.
And our buddy coming through for us on the
And
rear.
having a rear iron.
Having
David, thank you.
thanks, Jerome.
Oh, sorry.
You know, we have an impact that
Yeah.
would do that.
I know.
Or you just got to neutral drop these things, Charles.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Don't have enough notes. Okay. Hey Charles,
It's got a hole in it.
that's where it's leaking.
It's got a hole in it. Or is that where that's where the bolt, somebody ran a bolt too long
Yep.
through there.
Broke it.
Ooh, we
What?
found it.
Somebody broke.
Oh.
Somebody
That's an
ran one of the
engine mount
motor mount
bolt.
bolts in on an FD too long,
Yeah.
and broke the rear iron.
Right there.
Oh. How did we not see that? Because
I
we
don't
were
know.
like, because we
Yeah,
couldn't.
we couldn't get.
You could. I mean, I could.
Well,
I
you
could
would've thought
barely
you would've
get
saw that in the
straight in
tension
on
I
bolt
that.
wouldn't have.
stuff.
I saw that when I was putting it together.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Okay.
Because like
Dang.
it's right there. And
I
right
feel good about the decision now, though.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we couldn't. I mean, I literally was like inspecting this thing from under the car,
She
and
stuck
you
her head
couldn't
right
see.
here
Yeah, I
looking at
literally
it because we
was
were
able
looking
to
up
push
here.
up and could
Because
look
this is
straight
an oil
on,
channel,
but I didn't look
Yeah,
down
this
there.
is the drain
and
back
this is
right
an
here.
oil channel.
So Eric, you want to give the guys a pro tip, or I guess we can do it after we take it apart and show
I
'em.
mean, pro tip is
pro
don't
tip.
build your engine with a broken iron.
No, I mean with the motor mount bull thing, right?
Yeah, so ultimately, when you put these engine mounts in, especially if you run aftermarket engine mounts that come with different length bolts, just be sure to not run the bolt in too far, or make sure that you have all the silicone cleaned out of these holes, so then you don't run the silicone in too far and break your iron.
Dang, that's
Pro
crazy.
tip.
And then
Only
don't-
on the center two, because the outer ones, if you crack those, I think you're far enough out, you know, of the pan that it wouldn't leak. Dang, that sucks. So we ended up simply cutting an FD engine mount bolt, putting it in the hole with a bunch of RTV such that it plugs the hole on the iron. We were prepared to pull the iron off. We had bought another iron from a buddy, however we didn't need it. So fortunately, the engine's going back in with our oil leak fixed, and ideally we make it to the gap in the morning. June bugs are everywhere.
Yeah, they're taking over. I got you.
June bugs in April?
Yeah, I know. They're like way early.
You're good. Continue
Oh,
down.
yeah. Look at that.
My eyes just.
Your
I
youthful
got
eyes.
night vision. Taking the jack out, just watch your hand real quick, Charles, just in case you're good. Okay.
You're not going close to me.
Right.
With us.
Yeah, he's a main character.
He's gonna be
He's been part of this whole thing.
in a bunch of the videos.
You guys talking about RX-8s over there?
I think they're talking about trucks.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I had no idea what they were talking about.
I wasn't listening.
The V8's the jam for trucks. Charles got to feel the full wrath of the Duramax today.
Yeah,
What'd you think of that?
got down on it.
It's not slow when it's empty.
What just really amazes me? The red line. 3K.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
3,000 RPM, you gotta ship.
That's hilarious.
I'm like,
Wait, what? Already?
3K? That's where mine's idling.
You
said what? Lights staying on a lot longer than I thought it would.
Oh yeah, right in the front of the turbo.
God.
Alright, it doesn't have blown coolant seals, just so you know. It's probably gonna smell like coolant because of half a cup of oil or water just went straight in the turbo.
Is it actually key or is it the
Yeah,
button?
just turn the
Just
key.
the key.
Just turn the key.
We gotta prime the pump. Didn't spray everywhere. Think we're good.
Nice.
You get that mosquito out of there? You wanna pour this through a blue rag?
Probably be a good idea.
Alright.
Okay.
4
Dump
hours
those June
later.
bugs in there.
4 hours.
All right.
Hit it.
Do it.
Yeah. Where's the cap at, Charles?
It's like, yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on, Charles.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Cold start.
Oh, yeah.
We spilled oil on everything. This is normal. There was also half a cup of coolant dumped into the turbo. This is probably normal. Alright, let's put her on the ground. Now I'm cold.
Yeah, you stopped working.
It's currently the day we need to leave.
12:30.
But we're gonna sleep between now and when we leave. The truck is running. Burning off all of its horsepower. Hopefully the hole in the rear iron is good. Full of silicone and a plug. And we'll find out in the next video if it makes it to Deals Gap. Heck yeah. There's no way to quietly move a jack.
There's really not. Trying to be respectful,
Yeah.
but there's no respect.
It's just you just make noise. Just right here. Yeah, right next to it. Very nice, very nice. What do you think, Charles?
I think it's great. I'm thrilled that we got it fixed.
That we found the problem.
Yes. Now we got to burn off all that coolant.
I know. You get to take the back all the way there.
Yeah.
But actually, it's going to be a hard decision between Buzz and this on who's in the front or the back. Or heck, maybe even the 4-rotor on the way, because it's probably going to be a little smelly too. We're all going to be smelly.
Everyone's smelly.
There's going to be no mosquitoes from Nashville to Bryson City. No mosquitoes. They're all going to die
You're
tomorrow.
welcome, everyone.
And it sure does look good in there though. It's probably just that sensor jumping around a little bit. I'm telling you though, before we drove it earlier, you saw the video I sent.
Yeah.
It went from 60 to 40. When we went to, we like played it on the chip, and the oil pressure just went. I'm like, oh shit, something's wrong. So we switched the regulator, but we didn't necessarily need to. I bet it was just low on oil. It just pumped all the oil out of it, you know?
I mean, if you're hitting the gas and the oil's going out the back.
Yeah. You guys are doing a heck of a job cleaning up.
I'm super impressed.
You just going in the garage?
Oh, thank you. I was getting ready to get that.
Nice. Alright, we're going to do an end of the night rotary car check-in. The Black Cherry Shinka, ready to go. The Radix 7, it's way up there, that vicinity, ready to go. The R3 is not going. The Tundra is going to be replaced by a 4-rotor FD. Caddy Max good, Buzz good, the Repu good, Shiba good. I think we're ready for Deals Gap. T-minus 7 hours. I think that's the end. Alright guys, well thanks for watching us get everything ready for Deals Gap. I think we're ready to rock. Would y'all say we're ready to rock?
Ready.
Man, that was really excited. We're ready to rock at 1 a.m. the day we have to leave. It's been a long day. We've got everything done, and it's about to be an awesome weekend. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Live a life you don't need vacation from, and keep it rad. Charles, you gonna be able to walk tomorrow?
No, you don't need to. You just have to ride
I love your
for 4 hours.
shirt though. Who is Terry Crisp?
He was the announcer
Announcer.
for the Preds for years. He used to
Okay.
be a coach,
Okay.
and then he was one of the announcers. He retired about 2 years ago. And they
Awesome.
gave away these shirts.
It's just been a good shirt. We've been bringing the passion all day.
Oh yeah, lots of passion.
Peace, guys.
Oh yeah.
I won't.